Hi, I'm Kayla, a 36-year-old woman who's been through some incredibly challenging times recently. Over the past few months, I've had to relearn a lot about myself and life. Much of the trouble was caused by my husband, Tom, but thankfully, someone kind stepped in and helped me avoid even greater heartache. Let me introduce you to the main people in my story. First, there's my younger sister, Maya. She's 6 years younger than me and has always been the pretty one. Growing up, we didn't get along. While I was the nerdy type, she was the popular one. She always picked on me, and for some reason, there was an undercurrent of jealousy between us. My mom tried to bridge the gap, but it never quite worked. Once I left for college, we stopped talking much. However, after I graduated, and Maya was in her teen years, we started communicating again. Though our relationship improved, we never got really close, and that was as good as it got. I accepted that. Now, on to my ex-husband, Tom. We met at work and clicked instantly. After 3 years of dating, we tied the knot. We both worked hard and were able to buy our first home. Since I earned more, the mortgage and deed were in my name. 2 years into our marriage, Tom brought up the idea of starting a family. Kayla, I've been thinking about something, and I want you to consider it with an open mind, Tom said one evening. Sure, what's on your mind? I asked. We've been together for a while, and I was thinking maybe it's time to start a family. Tom, you know how I feel about that. I do, but we're financially stable now. Wouldn't it be nice to have little versions of us running around? Yes, but raising kids is a huge responsibility. We're responsible people, Kayla, we can handle it. Just think it over, okay? I promise I'll be fully involved in raising them. Despite my hesitation about having children, I eventually caved in because Tom kept pushing the idea. We had a son first, and 3 years later, a daughter. Initially, Tom was very supportive, but that didn't last long. Soon enough, I found myself handling everything at home, including caring for the kids. After our first child, Tom insisted I quit my job, as he had gotten a promotion and was earning more. I fought the idea, but in the end, I gave in. To keep myself from getting bored at home, I began hosting dinner parties. I often invited my mom and Maya, who lived nearby, and occasionally, my mother-in-law, Megan. Gradually, I found some peace in my new routine. I enjoyed the extra time with my family and felt relatively content. Things seemed fine with Tom too, although after the traumatic birth of our second child, during which I nearly died, our relationship took a hit. But I thought we were managing okay, until everything came crashing down. One day, as I was tidying up our bedroom, I found a pair of panties that weren't mine. My stomach dropped. It was like the ground shifted beneath me. I had felt a distance growing between Tom and me recently, but I chalked it up to stress from raising 2 young kids. The fact that Tom was cheating hadn't even crossed my mind, but there it was, proof, right in my hands. After the shock wore off, anger and hurt took over. I had to find out who my husband had been cheating with and why. First, I sent Tom a picture of the underwear, asking him whose they were. Then I went through his laptop, checking his social media and messages. At first, I didn't see anything suspicious, which only confused me more. I looked through all his contacts, everyone was familiar to me, and nothing seemed off. But then I noticed Maya's contact name popping up more than usual. Initially, I brushed it off. After all, why would I suspect my own sister? But when I opened their chat history, my worst nightmare came true. It was filled with explicit pictures and messages between the two of them. There were declarations of love, and they were even making plans for Tom to leave me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, my own sister and my husband, betraying me like this. I was physically sick. My body reacted before my mind could process everything. I tried calling Tom, but he didn't pick up, so I dialed Maya. Hey, what's up? She answered casually. Don't hey, what's up me? What the hell is wrong with you? I snapped. What do you mean? I found your panties in my bedroom. Have you been sleeping with Tom? Maya paused, then admitted, yeah, for a while now. Why, Maya? How could you do this to me? Your sister? I demanded, shaking with rage. I thought I was helping you out, she said, sounding annoyingly casual. I kept Tom occupied so you could focus on the kids. Are you serious? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How could you betray me like this? Look, I didn't mean for it to go this far. He came on to me first, and, well, he's a nice guy, she said. But he's my husband. You've destroyed our family, I cried, devastated beyond words. Maya's betrayal cut deeper than anything I could have imagined. I only wanted what was best for Tom, But if it meant I was the right one for him, then so be it. You're unbelievable. I slammed the phone down, disgusted by her audacity. I collapsed into bed and sobbed, unable to grasp how my life had come to this. Soon, my youngest child's cries pulled me out of my despair. I tended to her, feeling hollow as I went through the motions of the day. My children didn't need to carry the burden of my pain, so I kept it hidden. I picked up my eldest from school, made dinner, and when they asked about their dad, I lied, saying he was working late. As the night wore on, my anger morphed into concern. It was nearly 11 o'clock, and Tom still hadn't come home. I called him several times, but he never picked up. I even tried reaching Maya, but she didn't answer either. Exhausted from the emotional strain, I went to bed, praying it was just a nightmare. The next morning, I woke with a sinking feeling. Something wasn't right. I scanned the room and noticed Tom's belongings were missing. I checked the closets and drawers. Most of his stuff was gone. He had left during the night without so much as a word. The betrayal cut deep. He hadn't even tried to talk to me. Unsure of what to do, I focused on my kids. I got them ready for the day, dropped my eldest at school, and took my youngest to my mom's. She immediately sensed something was wrong, but I couldn't bring myself to explain. All I could think about was how I'd managed to raise 2 children alone. My mom finally broke the silence. All right, enough is enough. What's going on? I don't know where to start. Just say it, from the beginning. Tom's been cheating on me. What? Are you sure? I found another woman's underwear in our room. I confronted him, but he didn't respond, and then he disappeared. He left? What do you mean? When I woke up this morning, his stuff was gone. He didn't even wake me up to talk about it. My God, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. It gets worse. Oh no, do you know who it was? Yeah, I dug through his things. I know I shouldn't have, but I had to know. And, who is it? Maya. What, your sister? Are you kidding? No, Tom's been having an affair with her. When I confronted her, she didn't even try to deny it. She said they're in love and she thinks she's better for him. I can't believe this. What has she done? I have no idea how I'm supposed to survive this. I have 2 kids to raise, and now I need to find a job. Look, let's just take a breath. We'll figure this out together. I'll help you through this, okay? Thanks, Mom, I appreciate it. Strangely, telling my mom wasn't as hard as I thought. The numbness that had settled over me helped. While she took care of my youngest, I managed to get some rest. When I woke up, I heard my baby crying and my mom's raised voice. I rushed out to find her on the phone, clearly angry. She quickly hung up when she saw me and apologized for the noise. I knew she had been giving Maya a piece of her mind. Over the next few days, my mom stayed with us. It was easier having just one person around instead of 3. Maya kept trying to call my mom, but she asked me to block her. It was a relief to have someone in my corner when I felt so isolated. I soon found out through friends that Tom and Maya had gotten married. People who knew both of us were shocked and reached out to offer their support. It was humiliating to explain, but they stood by me. They cut ties with Tom and Maya, refusing to associate with them. They even married the day after Tom left me. It hurt, but I shouldn't have expected anything less from them. When I told my mom, she was livid. She's usually calm, so seeing her so furious at my sister was a shock. Thankfully, she helped me with more than just emotional support. She assisted me in finding job interviews, knowing I wanted to contribute again now that Tom was out of the picture. Taking care of the kids was tough, especially when they asked about their dad. I had to hold back tears, but we managed to get through it together. A week later, I received a letter from Tom. I had no interest in reading it. I figured it was some half-hearted apology, but I was done. A week was far too long to try and make amends after abandoning us, so I did the only thing I could think of. I destroyed the letter, but afterward, I couldn't shake the curiosity about what it might have said. There were moments when I wished I'd read it first, but I always reminded myself that nothing he could have written would change how I felt about him or what he had done. The following day, my mom and I took the kids to the fair. It was refreshing to be in such a lively environment after everything that had happened. I finally let myself laugh and have fun, something I hadn't done in a long time. That night, after the kids were asleep, my mom and I unwound with a bottle of wine, and I told her about the letter. Something came in the mail yesterday, I said. Oh, what was it? She asked. It was a letter from Tom. Really? What did it say? I have no idea. You didn't read it? No, I didn't want to hear anything from him, so I burned it. You burned it? Cow, what if it was something important, like divorce papers? I doubt that. It didn't look official at all. If you're sure, what do you think it said? I don't know, maybe a half-hearted apology or a plea to get his stuff back, who knows? And how are you holding up through all of this? Well, today was a good day. The hardest part is when the kids ask about their dad. What am I supposed to say? It's getting a little easier, but only just. As long as things are moving in the right direction, and you know I'm always here for you, I've decided I'm cutting ties with Maya. Everything I have will go to you and the kids. That means so much to me, Mom, but are you sure? Maya is still your daughter. After what she's done, she's no longer my daughter in my eyes. I raised both of you better, and she chose to betray you. I can't forgive that. While I appreciated her support, I understood how difficult that choice must have been for her. I couldn't imagine cutting off one of my kids, no matter what. I was beyond grateful for how she stood by me during such a hard time. 3 days later, I heard a knock at the door. It was unexpected, since I wasn't expecting any visitors. When I opened the door, 2 men in black suits stood there. I cracked the door and asked who they were. They said they were lawyers and handed me a note along with a check. The check was made out to me for $750,000. I was shocked by the amount. I told them there had to be some mistake, but they assured me there wasn't and urged me to read the note. The note began, "Thank you for saving me." It was from my mother-in-law, Megan. She explained that she had visited us 3 days earlier, but no one was home. When she called Tom, he tried to make it seem like there was a misunderstanding, but Megan saw through it. After pressing him, he confessed everything. Disgusted by his behavior, Megan felt deep sympathy for me and decided to leave her entire inheritance to me and the kids. The check was her way of ensuring we'd be taken care of. The lawyers explained that Megan had been terminally ill and passed away just the day before. She wanted the money to reach me immediately after her passing, to make sure I didn't have to struggle. Tears filled my eyes. Megan had always stood for what was right. Even when her son had faltered, she remained true to her principles until the very end, and I was deeply touched by her kindness. A few days after that, Tom called. I already knew what he wanted, but I decided to listen. "What did you do?" he demanded. "What are you talking about?" I asked. "You know exactly what I mean." "No, Tom, you'll need to be clearer. Why weren't you home the other day? I sent you a letter asking you to act normal when my mom visited." "Oh, so that's what the letter said?" "I didn't read it." "You burned it? You've ruined everything. She was supposed to help me with the inheritance, but you took it all because you're selfish." "That's rich, coming from you. You abandoned your family, and now you're only contacting me because of money." "I did what was right for me and the kids." "Your mother agreed. Don't ever call me again. Goodbye." After that call, everything moved quickly. I filed for divorce and gained full custody of the kids. Tom tried to fight for the inheritance, but Megan had made it clear that it was for me and the kids. He and Maya even attempted to convince me to share the money, but I refused to give in. Life improved after receiving the inheritance. I saved part of it for the kids' education and invested the rest. My mom was able to retire, and I found a job to support us further. The kids are starting to adjust to the reality that their dad isn't coming back, and when they're old enough, I'll explain everything to them. I'm still healing, but I know we'll be okay. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.